Good morning to you, Julie. A big day here in court because what's taking place is Special Agent Gannon. He is back on the stand. He is from the Homeland Security Department, that human trafficking division. So right away, as testimony got underway, he opened up a bag and brought out a pair of red platform heels to show the members of the jury. He also showed them a picture of that and then also held up that pair of platform heels, saying that 6 pairs of platform heels were taken from the house, but then another 12 were also taken. So he was going through a series of items that were seized from the house: guns, drugs, things that tested positive for cocaine, as well as those platform heels. Now, inside the courtroom, so Sean Combs is sitting there next to his counsel, and when cross-examination of this witness took place, so that just began a short time ago. The direct examination is complete. Cross just began with Temi Garagos. As Temi is asking questions, Sean, looks at her, and then he doesn't look back at the witness. He watches the jury to see how they are responding. So right away, what did Temi ask the witness on the stand? She talked about the execution of that search warrant and how he executed it at a time when he knew that Sean was leaving the country with his 2 twins. There was an objection at that point. There was then a sidebar. A lot of conversation took place, so I was able to come outside that courtroom and bring Court TV this live update. But just before that, so when court got underway this morning, none of Sean's children were inside the courtroom. But eventually, after about an hour after court proceedings began, the kids walked in. Some of the children, the sons, walked in. They sat down, and then it was as if Sean Combs could either tell they were in there, or he just thought, maybe I'll turn around and see if they've made their way in. He then turned around and he looked at one son in particular for quite some time. Sean then did a head nod a few times, and his one son did the head nod back to let him know that we are here. We're here to support you inside this courtroom. But jurors have been paying close attention, taking notes. They have monitors in front of them, Julie. So they're up close to those monitors, really looking at each item that is being shown to them via picture, and then also the special agent is bringing them out and showing them to the jury as well, each item. So that's what's been taking place. The special agent going through a big cart of items. So just watching all of the things that have been seized from inside Sean Diddy Combs' mansion in Miami.
Oh, Kelly, I love hearing all of your observations. So Diddy's watching the jury. Huge takeaway. How about those jurors? Did you see any of them at any points watching him or studying his movements?
Yeah. There's one woman that is kind of, so how it's set up, there are 3 rows, the one back, then the one middle, and then there's one really close to counsel tables. And so there's one woman that's in the middle that will often take a look at Sean Combs as the testimony is taking place. I'm not so certain she's just looking at him for looking at him's sake, because he does look different from what you normally see on TV. He has a little kind of a beard, goatee, and then he has his gray hair. So I'm not sure if she's looking at him to see what his reaction is, or just looking at him in general, maybe in a way starstruck.
Right, Kelly. Is he still wearing the sweaters? We know that was his repeat outfit. Is still today another sweater?
Yeah, that's his look, Julie. That is his look. He has that crew neck sweater on. It's light. He has a kind of a shirt, a men's shirt underneath. So really buttoned up, very conservative look, and just sits there, confers with his counsel back and forth. But yeah, it's interesting when Temi is up there. I mean, he really is gazing at her as she is asking the questions, and then he watches the jury to see if they have any reaction to what the witness is saying.
This is interesting. I could talk to you all day about this, Kelly. What about when it's one of the government prosecutors up there, when it's a government attorney? Is he still paying attention to their questions?
He's not looking at them when they're asking the questions. He's sitting there looking at the witness and then jotting down notes and conferring with counsel. So not looking when the government is asking the questions.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. How about the gallery? How big is the gallery, Kelly, in terms of people sitting? We've seen the lines, and that there are people who have jobs of being the line sitters who will kind of camp out overnight to hold the places. How many people would you say, kind of ballpark rows, are there in who can watch this case?
Well, it's not huge. It's not huge. So 21 members of the press are able to get in. So we take up about 3 rows. Then there are about 3 rows in front of us. So when you walk inside the courtroom, that's on the right-hand side. Then on the left-hand side, you have supporters of Sean Combs. So his sons are in, it's either the second or the third row. So they save those seats for his children in case they do arrive. So no one can ever take those seats. Those are reserved for his family if they do come back to court and arrive like they did today. And they arrived about an hour into court proceedings. And then behind them, there are people, seats for some members of the general public and other supporters of Sean Combs. So, of course, members of the public as well. So very strict to get inside the courtroom. It is full. There's no other room in there. And inside, the security, if someone speaks, if someone talks, they will come over. And for instance, one of the security guards said to one woman, "Hey, chatterbox, this is the 3rd time now that I told you to keep it down. If I have to do it again, you're out." So you really cannot make a move, Julie.
Kelly, you served as a prosecutor. You know how it is in state court and in federal court. It's like everything's a bit heightened. It's even stricter than in state court. So, my goodness, yeah, I can imagine they don't tolerate any.
Julie, I actually like that training. I like that training that we have because I know I'm not going to be getting in trouble when I'm in there because we have that training to know what to do. Some other people, they're basically getting kicked out.
Right. No, you know exactly. I mean, sometimes when you see members of the media with their phones on and things, you think, my gosh, and we've seen it. We've seen attorneys get in big trouble for having their phones on, things like that. Oh, I know. Well, really excellent observations you've shared with us, Kelly. Stay warm there in New York City. We'll let you get back in the courtroom and look forward to more reporting from you throughout the day. Let me bring in our legal analyst, Erica Wilson, now for some questions about Sean Diddy Combs. Erica, you heard Kelly's observation she was sharing with us. What's it tell you about Diddy and the way in which he pays close attention to his own attorney and the jurors and different body language when it's the government in control?
Well, that's not uncommon to see, but particularly with what we know of Diddy and his persona since he's been Sean P. Diddy Combs' Puff Daddy. What we do know is that he does kind of have sort of this kind of controlling personality. And so it's not uncommon for you to see someone that type of personality to be more enthralled with their defense and more involved because we've all had them. We've all had those clients that they pretty much run the show. They want to be hands-on. They want to tell you what questions to ask, what not to ask. They want to tell you how to litigate, what witnesses to call. And so something in my spirit just tells me that Diddy kind of has that same kind of energy when he's dealing with his attorneys. And obviously, the prosecution, they're opposing your position. And so you do display a different sort of body language. And we see that common not only with the parties, but we see them with witnesses. They're soft and soft-spoken with one attorney, and then they become aggressive and overly defensive with the opposing counsel. So this is something that's just par for the course. But I do suspect that Diddy is probably very hands-on with his defense and kind of guiding them in the direction that he feels is best for them to go.